My name is Marsha Masara binti Azim and my matrix number is 2019-666-436.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nordiana Farisha binti Raizat.
Hi, my name is Siti Fatimah binti Yaakob and my matric number is 2019407238.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Nurul Nisha binti Muhammad Zalani and my matric number is 2019-281568.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nur Al-Fatih Najah binti Azman. My matric number is 2019-814184.
Me and my group members will present about push-pass skill in hockey game. Basically, hockey is a team sport in which two teams compete by attempting to glide a ball or puck into the opposing goal using a wooden stick called hockey stick. The hockey term refers to field hockey in most of the world, but for the majority of Eastern and Northern Europe, the term usually refers to ice hockey. Push-pass skill is the most common way of passing the ball using forehand during the game. The push technique is to feed the players conducted by means of pushing the ball towards the target using the power of the hand and wrist rotation. There are 3 stages in push-pass skill movement. The first stage are preparatory or pre-contact. There is several muscle, bone and joint involved in the movement. For the muscle that involve quadriceps, hamstring, rectus, abdominis and bicep brachii. And for the bone, humerus, phalanges and femur. The joint that involve are saddle joint, that is between trapezium and the first metacarpal bone. And for another joint are pling joint at the between of the tarsal bones. For the second stage, there is force or contact stage. In this position, the player make contact by hitting the ball towards the target. Muscles that involved in this movement are abdominal muscle, gluteus maximus, trapezius, rotator cuff, and tricep brachii. For the bone that involve are hip bone, scapula, ulna, patella, and metatarsal. For the joint is ball and socket joint at the hip bone. Then we move to third stage. That is recovery stage or post-contact. In this stage, all contact with the ball is done, and that is the recovery. For the muscle that involve are deltoid, latissimus dorsi, rhomboids major, pectoralis major, and brachioradialis. For the bone, metacarpals, radius, tibia, and fibula. And for the joints involved are hinge joint, that is joint at the elbow.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nordiana Farisha binti Raizat. So this is the phase of the push-pass skill. So for the first step, a push-pass skill require you to use a basic grip, just like you normally grip the stick when you're dribbling the ball. And for the second step is position your body such that is perpendicular to the target. This means that the left side of your body should be facing your target. And third, place the ball to the right side of your body in line with your back foot. Remember to keep your knees bent and your body low. And next, as you push the ball forward toward your target, shift your weight from your back foot to your front foot. And you also have to rotate your hip as well in order to produce a more powerful hit. And lastly, remember that you shouldn't lose contact between the ball and the stick. So after you release the ball, make sure to follow through. And your stick should be pointing toward your target.
Force, a lift, push or pull which tends to cause a change in a body state of motion. Measure in newtons. 4 components under observation is magnitude, direction, point of acceleration, line of actions. Internal versus external force. Internal force are those that act within the object or system whose motion is being investigated. External force are those that act on an object as a result of its interaction with the environment surrounding it. Only external force can change the motion of an object. internal forces cannot change the motion of the object is acting on. Motive versus resistance. Motive versus resistive force. Motive forces are external forces applied to an object or system in the intended or desired direction of motion. Scalar and vector quantities. Forces are vectoral quantities, a quantity that has both magnitude and direction, represented as an arrow drawn from an initial point A pointing to a terminal point B. Now, center of mass is a point where a system mass may be considered to be concentrated. Center of mass is often called the center of gravity, the point where gravity can be said to act. COG reflect a balance point, accounting for the distribution of mass within the object. COM of a body does not always coincide with its geometric center. Movement of center of gravity. When in contact with the ground, the center of mass of the whole body moves in the same direction of the movement of the body parts. This movement is proportional to the mass of the body parts and the distance of movement. During flight, the position of the center of gravity relative to the ground travels in a defined pathway. Flight path of center of gravity is set at takeoff and cannot be changed during flight. Within a free fall, the path of the center of mass is fixed. Kinetics, relationship between the motion of bodies and its causes. Torque, quantitative approach and quantitative approach. Torque, when the line of action of an external forces does not act through the axis of rotation of a body, a turning or rotation effect results. If rotation results, the force is defined as a torque T or T minus, often called a moment, and joined in diagram. Vector quantity, magnitude, and directions given by linear force multiplied by a radius. Torque is simply the effectiveness of a force is causing rotation. Any discussion of torque must be with reference to a specific axis. T equal to F times D. T for torque in Nm, F force in newtons, D distance in meters of the line of action of the force to the pivot points. In the human body, vectors resolution is used extensively to visualize the effect of muscle pulls on bones. The perpendicular Fy component act to rotate the bone around a joint. The parallel Fx component more often act to stabilize the joint. Point of application does not move on a tighter axis. Next, sticking points. Resistance torque increase due to magnification of moment arm. However, motive torque also increase due to a proportionally similar increase in its moment arm. Optimal muscle length allow for maximal cross-bridge interaction, which translates to max tension development. Less or greater than optimal length decrease the interaction between filament, decreasing tension. For rotary stability is defined as resistance to the disruptions of balance. An object is in balance as long as the line of action of the center of the gravity lies within the base of support. Stability is relative. The greater the distance the line of action has to travel, the greater the degree of stability. For main character, factors that affect rotary stability, size and shape of base of support. Second, relationship of the line of gravity to the base of support. Third, height of the center of gravity above the base of support. Fourth, the greater the mass, the greater the stability. Next, the important to understand stability versus torque. Application of torque can concept to stability in a collision situation. Size of base of supports. Second, location of center of gravity within base of supports. Third, mass. Fourth, height of center of gravity. For analysis setup of the video recording, Ain used a sportwear, which is a jersey, trousers, and sport shoes. She also bought her hockey stick and hockey balls. For special protection, she has to use shin guards and mouth guard during games, and sometimes she use shin guards during training.
The push is the finest way to pass the ball over a space of about 10 meters to 15 meters. It's a fast and precise method for getting the ball to your teammate. My first own kinematical analysis is related to the stance width before push. From the point of standing straight, you need to lower the gravitational point of your body by aparting the leg, like doing the side lunges. By doing this, you can get a lot stronger push and more stable when doing the follow through. Next is the ball distance from the front foot. As you can see, the ball is at the back leg and being pushed to the front. The ball is being pushed for a longer time, which can shorten the time travel to the target. Last but not least, in my kinematical analysis, hockey stick need to be in contact with the ball for as long as possible. While doing the push, hockey stick and the ball need to be close to each other before push and when doing the push. And the push need to be ended by follow through, which will prevent from injury. Next is the plane of motion. The first one is movement that involve in sagittal plane. Before doing the push, the knees are flexed and both legs look like they are in a lunges position, while the upper body needs to be flexed a bit. In follow through, the plane changed a bit at the arms part because it went through extension movement. Movement in horizontal plane while pre-push involves the raise of the hand on the lower part of the stick is supination, while the upper raise is pronation. And the front leg is in lateral rotation while taking the step forward. And while doing the push, the upper body is in lateral rotation and the back leg is in medial rotation. And the front leg didn't involve in any movement. Lastly, the pre-push movement in frontal plane are the hand at the lower part of the stick is in ulnar deviation movement and the upper hand involve a little bit radial deviation, which is both are important so that the hand is not too stiff and that will cause hand wrist injury, while the legs are in abduction movement when taking a step forward. In follow-through, the lower hand wrist will turn into radial deviation movement, so high level of flexibility at the wrist is very important.
Okay, so my part is step 4, maximizing skill performance. So I got 5 points. First is level the speed of the ball and push the ball while running with the right angle. Second is point front foot in the direction in which the ball should be going to help with accuracy, and the back foot perpendicular to front for stability of the body. Okay, next, ensure the head is over the ball so the line of gravity is over the ball to allow a good stick to ball connection. Then number 4 is angle the stick correctly so it will connect with the middle back of the ball, ensuring the angle of attack is effective. The last one is line the ball up with the left foot to result in a correct angle of attack. That's all. Thank you.